Good afternoon. Today, a little quick topic we're going to talk about today is just going to be going from basically 0 to 1,000 in a relationship. 0 to 1,000, not 100, but 1,000. And the reason why I say that is because in a relationship, it takes a lot of work, and the majority of the time, seems like until you get to know each other, it seems like it's one sided all the time. Like, well, you said.
Tick for tat.
Tick, my favorite, tick for tat.
Yeah, that's what you always say, tick for tat.
And when I say tick for tat, that means it's something that has happened a while back, but you bring it back up and rehash it. Say, well, you did this. I just want to bring it to your attention that you said this or that, instead of just letting go what happened a while back or whatever. So a lot of times, I would say that people can't move forward without carrying baggage or pulling baggage into the future. All right. So a lot of times, if you can leave things in the past, it'll make your journey and your walk a whole lot easier. So when I say going from 0 to 1,000, that means sometimes like you get in a conversation with someone or there is a disagreement in the marriage, relationship, whatever, even at work. Sometimes it's best to sit back and relax and rehash and rethink things before you actually say. Because a lot of times, once it come out this cannon, which we call a mouth, once it comes out, you can't get it back.
But isn't the history, if you have history, your history that what we know is history that you've dealt with in the past helps you to propel to your future, your present.
Yeah, that's true. If you use that as a learning experience, don't use that as an anchor. There's a daggone difference between using that as a learning experience and using it as an anchor, and you dragging that same anchor that caused the issue way back into your future.
Okay.
So that's the issue. Don't get those two twisted or messed up or think about them wrong, because they're two different things. They're two totally different things. And when I say going from 0 to 1,000, I know we all have our ideology. We all have our days where we feel like you woke up this morning, it seems like everything is wrong. Or even if you're in a relationship, you might wake up one morning and you be happy as all get out, then your spouse or your friend or your significant other, whoever it may be, says one word.
Yeah.
And you feel like they daggone destroyed your whole day. So from that day forward, you're going to be hostile.
Yeah.
Hostile. And I'll say when you say that too, and you're going to be combative.
But that can happen to anybody. That's just not for... A lot of times I think that men or the male in the relationship looks at it that way. But I also believe that women not always are the one that's combative.
And that's true. But
they're always the one that's bringing up stuff that can fuel you to have an issue. They're not the only ones waking up in the morning and have a bad day.
And I agree with that.
Okay.
I mean, I said everybody.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure I'm just establishing that.
Anybody and everybody can have a bad day. It don't matter who you are. And a lot of times, we as males have that strong, seems like it's that steel exterior where a lot of times the spouse doesn't feel like things hurt you or deal with you or mess with you. And I know that was our situation where for years, I used to like not let stuff worry me and all this other stuff, which I did, but then as I stayed home more, or I was actually being home when we was around each other a little bit more, I felt like sometimes you just felt that way. And you even said that, hey, I always thought that nothing hurts you, nothing offends you, but that's not true. To every male, male that's out there, you got to be strong, because sometimes your wife, girlfriend, or whoever may not understand that we all have problems and issues. There's a lot of stuff that goes on the inside of a strong black man who's actually trying to, make it through society, make it through life, and then try to make their family life easier by being a provider. So a lot of times when you try to be the provider, you get a whole lot of arrows and sticks and stones thrown at you and all that, ridicule, all of that. But I just want, the female or the other partners in the relationship to know that we're not all the time have that hard exterior where we don't let everything get to. Because sometimes words is like a laser. Mm-hmm. It can pierce you and hurt and burn from the inside out. And a lot of times, we don't show that point, that side of things like that. So a lot of times, watch what you say, watch your words. And I've had to learn this over the years that, the way I talk, my voice a lot of times have people thinking that I'm being combative, combative in a lot of ways. And it's not true. Just like we were just talking a few minutes ago, when I say now, certain words that fluctuates your voice, right? So where sometimes simple words like, hey, and then you say, hey, it's two different things, right. You know what I'm saying? And you got to realize it, because sometimes what you may think the way that I said it, or the way that the other person has said it, not necessarily that way. But I think so. Don't jump to conclusions.
I think when you have been with someone as long as we have, 21 years married and 23 years together, part of our relationship didn't start right off, and we didn't get to have what we have now because you were gone.
Exactly.
So you have to remember that when we're talking about the way you say things and the way that you respond makes a difference depending on the life that you have. We had a military relationship. Yeah. You were gone for years. When you came home, you were already still in a military mindset, and you spoke that way. You spoke to me that way. You spoke to me as like you were an instructor.
And you always say, I'm not one of your soldiers. And
right.
It takes a long time. That's like in any relationship. If you've done something like 25 years that I was in the military, that's all I know. Basically going from my adolescent years or my post-teen years, going into the military, straight out, high school, straight out, like 2 weeks out of high school, left to go to basic training.
Right.
And I did that for 25 years. That's all I know. That's my concept. That's my mentality, my mind. And just like when I used to come home and I used to see one or two things out of place, and I asked the simple
one or two things.
Ask the simple question: are you done with this?
Is it simple?
Yeah, it was simple. But see, the thing was what? Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, I left it there for a reason.
No, one of the things was that we had not been together and had established a marriage or relationship as husband and wife at that point, because when we got married, you went right back on to active duty and you were gone. So when you came home, it sounded like, deployed. Right. It sounded harsh. It sounded like correction. It didn't sound like husband and wife marriage. Hey babe, what's that? It was like, what's this right here? Why you got that right there? Does this need to go anywhere? And that coming from, I believe, a woman that is a strong woman, came from a home that was, my mother raised me with a stepfather, eventually later on. I wasn't accustomed to that. My granddaddy was a man that was a soft-spoken man. When he spoke, his voice, he only spoke when it was something that demanded him to speak. So he was a cool cat. That's what I'll say about him. He was a cool dude. And I never heard my granddaddy raise his voice. So coming from, you have to think about people's life and how they grew up. And so coming from that and hearing you being away from home for years, coming only on the weekend and asking me all these questions, I'm the one running the house.
Yeah, but the thing about this, you was running the house, but I was paying for the house. and I couldn't even do what I wanted to do, and it made me feel so. I'm like, I'm paying the bills here and paying for this mortgage, and you and the dog, because you often said, you don't live here. Me and the dogs are the one that live here. You're not here.
That was true.
It was true. But,
that was true.
But you fail to realize that I paid the bills there for you too.
Not all the bills. You paid the mortgage.
Okay, we ain't got to get discussing it. Everybody know what our bills are, but I'm just saying. Well,
it wasn't all the bills.
Yeah, but you just paid. You paid
the bills.
A couple, one or two. But I'm just saying that even with that, you just got to be mindful that when someone comes home, they come from a different body. And like I tell you all the time, you were spoiled. Now, if my family is up here and you guys are watching this, you all know We come from a background where cursors are curses. And I want this, let me put the disclaimer here right now from now on out, if you watch the video here. I'm not a preacher, not a minister, none of that. And I just want to put, I do curse. And, you know, I used to say, I was telling Dina all the time, please be patient with me, because God is not through with me yet. So just be mindful of that, because sometimes I might slip one or two in there, but I do that and try to be respectful of everybody. But back to the issue, you have to be mindful that, you know, that person that's not there all the time, gone, and like me and any other, I'll say military individuals have dealt with a lot of stuff that's going on, the stress, and not just military. You could be a truck driver and be on the road all the time, and you come home, and then it'll be just like our two puppies. Both of us yapping at each other, and it sounds like the Charlie Brown thing, womp, 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 and ain't nobody hearing nothing.
Yeah.
And that goes to like what the terminology is called passive listening, meaning you only hear what you want to hear. Everything else just goes by, blows by you, but you only pick up on one or two things.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that causes a lot of stress in a relationship. Animosity, all that.
Yeah,
you know, resentment.
Yeah.
All of that. All that happens when that happens and you got passive listening, you don't listen to the whole story. And that's why I go back to what I was saying before, 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
If you come off to me, and I used to tell Dina all the time, I got a PTSD day. I'm not feeling it today, whatever. Right? That lets her know, hey, he's dealing with something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go about this way, do my day or whatever. I'll speak to him if I see him or anything like that. Just keep it moving.
But that came later on, though.
Yeah,
that was something that, one, PTSD, in my opinion, did not start. People talked about PTSD, and my husband mentioned about PTSD, but PTSD, in my opinion, was not pushed or commercialized until we started seeing soldiers killing their wives.
And we saw killing themselves too.
Killing themselves, wives and themselves, and having those issues. And then that's when we started seeing more news and more stories about PTSD. Unfortunately for us, unfortunately for us, those times when my husband was dealing with PTSD, he hadn't, you hadn't really decide. Oh, you didn't. You knew you was dealing with something, but you didn't know what name to name it.
Right.
When he was able to name it, and then that opened up a whole nother understanding for me, because a lot of times I think with people that's been in the military and you have married someone in the civilian sector, please check our other videos out. We've talked about military life. It is not only hard for you all, but it's hard for the person that you are coming home to. Because one, you have a certain way of doing things, but that person has to adapt to, one, you're not the same person that they married. And then two, they're having to deal with now the diagnosis that you've been given and the things that you're dealing with. So you talking about the PTSD, and now you telling me that I then knew how to walk. I knew how to respond to you then. But sometimes you didn't even know that you was dealing with something. I might have said, babe, are you okay?
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's like I said, it's something that a lot of people deal with. And I'm not even gonna go as far as just saying only military. You got people that are in the let's say like the police, firemen, EMS, nurses, doctors, counselors. People coming to you all the time telling you their issues and all that stuff. So who do you talk to, or you got to deal with it, take it on. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at. There's a lot to that, and once you recognize what the issue is, and you come to a good median between the two parties, yourself and the individual, your spouse or whatever, you got to work on it. And it's still like a lot of work.
Work in progress.
Yeah, working. And I feel like I need to change the spark plugs and some of the things that we do and get a tune up. Yeah. But it's a work in progress. You got to continue to stay. You got to communicate. Because how many times we thought about, divorce, separation. Six, I know. Getting other apartments, you move, I help you get out of here, I help you pay for it, whatever, all this mess, so it's been a lot to that, and don't think that we're up here just talking. We're talking about what we know and what we've done or experienced in the past. So I'm never gonna talk about something that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Everybody is different, but communication is key. If you just a plug, if you have dealt with anything that you feel like you need to talk to someone, I'm a component for therapy. My husband is a component for therapy. If you need therapy, please seek therapy because it can change your life. It can change your situation. So yeah, I appreciate you, babe.
Yeah.
We've come a long way. We've come a long way because
I, for Christmas present, I started to buy boxing gloves plenty of times.
Yeah.
and I was gonna let you wear the helmet, the little protective headgear. Because I had some body blows that I wanted to shoot in there, but that's just like with life. I can use it as an analogy. Life is gonna give you them body blows, and it might give you a daggone a punch and knock you out or knock you down. But the thing is, how you gonna get up?
How you gonna get up?
How you gonna get up? I mean, it don't matter if you got to crawl over on the floor to a corner or something and pull yourself up. Just as long as you get up and don't stop, just keep on going. I tell anybody to just keep on keeping on. That's all we can do.
Because we now know life is lifing.
Life is lifing, and yet tomorrow is not promised to no one. Love on each other. Do what you need to do to actually just get through. That's it. We're all in a point now where we're just trying to get through and trying to make it through, and that's the main thing. Don't give up.
Don't give up. All right. Peace.
All right.